I found an old key in my mailbox this morning with a tag that read, "She's already gone." It was just sitting there, nestled between a utility bill and a flyer for lawn services, a rusty, weathered thing, the kind you'd expect to unlock a shed or an attic. The tag was a scrap of cardboard, the words scratched in hurried blue ink, no signature, no hint of who left it. I turned it over in my hand, feeling the weight of it, and my stomach twisted. She's already gone. Who's she? And gone where? My first thought was Sara, my wife. It had to be. But why would someone leave this for me? And why now? I'm Lucas Hayes, 39, a park ranger by trade. I spend my days patrolling the nature reserve a few miles from town, keeping trails clear and making sure visitors don't wander where they shouldn't. It's steady work, quiet, predictable, the way I like it. I've always been the patient type, good at watching, listening, noticing things others miss. Sara teases me about it sometimes, says I'd rather stare at trees than talk to people. Maybe she's not wrong. We've been married 7 years, and I thought we had a rhythm. Not perfect, but solid. At least, I did until today. Sara's 36, a whirlwind of ideas and energy. She's got this creative streak, always sketching little drawings in notebooks, dreaming up stories about the places we visit. She's the one who makes our cabin feel alive, with her laugh and her endless plans. Lately, though, she's been restless. A few months back, she started volunteering for these guided hiking tours at the reserve. Said it'd get her out of the house, give her something new. I didn't mind, I'm out there most days anyway, and I figured it'd be good for her. But she's been taking these long walks alone, phone in hand, coming back with vague stories about trail ideas or group chats. I didn't push. I trusted her. Maybe I shouldn't have. That key's on the kitchen table now, next to my coffee mug. I keep glancing at it, like it might sprout legs and walk off with answers. The tag's beside it, those 3 words staring up at me, she's already gone. It's 8:12 a.m., and Sara's still asleep upstairs, or at least she was when I came down. She got home late last night, said the tour ran long because some hikers got lost. I nodded, went to bed, didn't think twice. Now I'm wondering if I should have asked more. The mailbox is at the end of our driveway, maybe 50 feet from the house. Someone walked up here, dropped this in, and left. No note, no knock, just the key and that message. It feels personal, deliberate, like they wanted me to find it. I'm trying to piece it together, but my head's a mess. Could it be a prank? Some kid from town messing around? But the key looks old, used, and the handwriting's too shaky for a teenager's joke. Maybe it's not even about Sara. Could be a mix-up, meant for someone else. Except we're the only house on this stretch of road, no neighbors for half a mile. And she keeps circling back to her. Sara's the only she in my life that matters. My sister's in Colorado, my boss is a guy, and I don't chat up strangers. So if it's her, what's gone? Her? Us? Something else? I've been replaying the last few weeks. She's been distracted, sure, checking her phone more, stepping outside to take calls. I caught her once, out back by the shed, laughing low into the receiver. She said it was a friend from the volunteer group, someone named Owen. I didn't know him, didn't care to. She's mentioned him a few times, some guy who leads tours, knows the trails better than I do, apparently. I figured he was just part of the crew. But now, with this key in front of me, I'm wondering if there's more to it. Did I miss something? I'm good at spotting tracks in the woods, deer, foxes, even the faint press of a boot. Maybe I've been blind to the ones right here. The floor creaks upstairs. She's awake. My pulse jumps, and I hate that it does. I don't know what to do with this yet, confront her, hide it, wait it out. I slide the key and tag into my jacket pocket, out of sight. The coffee's gone cold, but I take a sip anyway, just to steady my hands. I hear her footsteps on the stairs, light and quick, like always. The door swings open, and there she is, hair tangled, still in her pajama shirt, smiling like it's any other morning. Morning, she says, heading for the kettle. You're up early. Yeah, I say, keeping my voice even. Couldn't sleep. She nods, doesn't look at me, just fills the kettle and hums something soft. It's so normal it stings. I watch her move, and for the first time in years, I wonder what I'm not seeing. The key's heavy in my pocket, and those words echo in my head, she's already gone. I don't know what it means yet, but I'm going to find out. It's been 3 days since I found that key in the mailbox, and I still don't know what it unlocks. I've kept it in my jacket pocket, the tag folded tight against it, those words, she's already gone, burning a hole in my thoughts. I haven't asked Sara about it yet. I don't know how to bring it up without sounding like I've lost my mind. She's been acting normal, or at least what I used to call normal, making coffee, sketching in her notebook, heading out for her volunteer shifts at the reserve. But I'm watching her now, really watching, and there's something off. I can't shake the feeling that key's the start of something I can't unsee. This morning, I decided to stop guessing. Sara left early for a tour group, said she'd be back by noon. She grabbed her coat off the rack by the door, the gray one she's worn all season, and I watched her go, the truck's engine rumbling as she pulled out. I waited until the sound faded, then I went to the closet. That coat's been nagging at me since the key showed up. It's where she keeps her phone sometimes, her keys, little scraps of paper. If there's something to find, it's there. I don't snoop, not usually, but this feels different. I'm not digging for secrets, I'm tracking a trail. I pulled the coat off the hanger and felt the pockets. Left one empty, just lint. Right one, something crinkled. My fingers closed around a folded piece of paper, and my chest tightened. I slid it out, a torn scrap from a notebook, the edges rough like it had been ripped in a hurry. It wasn't much, just a few words in her handwriting. Owen, 7 p.m., Gate 3. That was it. No date, no explanation. Owen. The name hit me like a cold wind. She's mentioned him before, some guy from the volunteer crew, the one who knows the trails better than anyone. I didn't think much of it then. Now it's all I can think about. Gate 3's on the west side of the reserve, a quiet spot near the old service road. I've walked it 100 times, it's not a tour stop. No reason for her to meet anyone there unless it's off the books. I sat on the couch, staring at that note, my mind racing. 7 tonight? Was that today? Yesterday? Last week? I needed more. I grabbed her laptop from the kitchen counter, she leaves it there sometimes, open to her sketches. She's not big on passwords, never has been. I hesitated, fingers hovering over the keys. This isn't me. But I typed anyway, pulled up her messages. And there it was. A thread with OP. Owen Pratt, I'm guessing. It started simple trail schedules, tour notes. Then it shifted. Missed you today, he wrote a week ago. You too, she replied. My throat went dry. I scrolled further. Gate 3 tomorrow, he asked 2 days back. Can't wait, she said. That was yesterday. Last night, when she came home late, blaming lost hikers. There were no lost hikers, I'd have heard about it at the station. I kept reading, each line a punch I didn't want to take. You make this fun, he wrote. So do you, she answered. Fun. That's what she called it. I shut the laptop, my hands shaking. Not from anger, not yet. It was disbelief, heavy and thick, like fog rolling over the ridge. Sara's been meeting him. Owen. At Gate 3, in my reserve, under my nose. The key flashed in my mind, did it fit something there? A lockbox? The gate itself? I don't know. But the note in my pocket, she's already gone, started making sense. Not gone from the house, gone from me. She's been slipping away, and I didn't see it until someone shoved it in my face. I stood up, paced the living room. The clock said 10:43. She'd be back soon. What do I do? Yell? Walk out? Pretend I don't know? I'm not built for this, I fix trails, not marriages. But I can't unsee that thread, those words. Can't wait. She wrote that. To him. My Sara. I grabbed the note from her coat again, held it next to the keys tag. Her handwriting's close, same loops on the E, same slant. Did she leave the key herself? No, that doesn't track. Someone else did. Someone who knows. The truck's engine rumbled outside. She's here. I stuffed the note back in the coat, hung it up, kept the key in my pocket. My heart's pounding, but my face stays steady. I've got years of practice keeping calm when hikers panic. She walked in, smiling, a little windblown. Hey, she said, kicking off her boots. Tour went fine. You good? Yeah, I lied, my voice flat. Just thinking. She nodded, moved to the kitchen. I watched her, and all I could see was Gate 3, Owen, that laptop screen. I don't know what's next, but I know I can't let this sit. Not anymore. It's been an hour since I found that note in Sara's coat and read those messages on her laptop. I'm still reeling, but I've got it together enough to sit here, waiting. Now it's all tilting, and I can't stop it. Sara's in the kitchen, humming like nothing's wrong, stirring something on the stove. Dinner, I guess. She's acting like it's any other night, but it's not. Not for me. I've been quiet since she got back from her tour, just watching her move around the cabin. But those messages I read, the ones with Owen, they've painted her different now. Can't wait, she wrote. To meet him. At Gate 3, in my reserve. I keep seeing it, her sneaking off, laughing with him, while I'm out checking trails. The note from her coat's back in its pocket, but I've got the image burned in my mind. Owen, 7 p.m., Gate 3. Yesterday. Last night. When she lied about lost hikers. I can't sit on this anymore. My hands are steady, but my chest feels tight, like the air's gone thin. I stand up from the couch, walk to the fireplace where the logs are crackling low. She's still in the kitchen, maybe 10 feet away, close enough to hear me. I don't know how to start this, but I've got to. Sara, I say, my voice cutting through her humming. She turns, spoon in hand, that easy smile on her face. Yeah, she says, like it's nothing. I pull the note from her coat out of my memory, not the paper itself. I left it where it was and hold it up in words. I found something today, I say, keeping my eyes on her. In your coat. Owen, 7 p.m., Gate 3. Want to tell me what that's about? Her smile freezes, then drops. She sets the spoon down slow, like she's buying time. What are you talking about, she says, but her voice wavers. She's good at playing it off, I'll give her that, but I've spent too long reading signs to miss hers. Don't, I say, sharper than I meant. I saw the messages too. On your laptop. With him. Owen Pratt. Can't wait. You make this fun. Ring any bells? Her face goes pale, and for a second, she just stares at me, eyes wide like a deer caught in headlights. I step closer, not loud, but firm. You've been meeting him. At Gate 3. Last night, when you said it was hikers. It wasn't, was it? My words hang there, heavy, and I can feel the heat rising in me, not wild, but steady, like a fire I've been stoking too long. She blinks, looks away, then back at me. Lucas, it's not, she starts, but I cut her off. Don't lie to me, Sara. I read it. You wrote it. Just tell me. My voice cracks a little, and I hate that it does. She takes a breath, runs a hand through her hair, and I can see her scrambling. Okay, she says finally, quiet. Yes, I met him. But it's not what you think. It was just a dumb thing. One time. I swear. One time. The words hit me like a slap, but I don't buy it. The messages went back weeks. One time? I say, stepping closer to the kitchen counter between us. That's your story? Then why's he texting you like you're best friends? Why's Gate 3 your little meetup spot? You think I'm that blind? My tone's cold now, sharper than I've ever been with her. She flinches, and part of me feels bad, but the rest is too raw to care. I trusted you, I say, and that's when it really sinks in how much this stings. I didn't even question it. The walks, the phone, the late nights. And you're out there with him. Lucas, please, she says, her voice shaking now. She steps around the counter, closer to me, her hands up like she's trying to calm me down. It was a mistake. I got caught up, okay? I'd been bored, stuck here, and he just listened. It didn't mean anything. Her eyes are wet, and she's reaching for me, but I step back. Didn't mean anything? I repeat, almost laughing, but it's bitter. You lied to my face. You picked him over me. That's what it means. The cabin's quiet now, just the fire popping behind me and her breathing, fast and uneven. I'm about to say more when the doorbell rings, sharp, loud, cutting through everything. We both freeze. I glance at the clock, 6:47 p.m. Who's here? Sarah's eyes dart to the door, then back to me, and there's something in her face, panic, maybe. I move before she can, cross the room, and yank the door open. And there he is. Owen. Tall, scruffy, standing there in a jacket like he owns the place, a dumb grin on his face until he sees me. Hey, he says, then stops, looking past me to Sara. Oh. Bad time? I turn to her, and she's gone white, hands clenched. Lucas, I didn't, she starts, but I don't let her finish. You didn't what? I snap, glaring between them. Invite him? Too late for that. Owen shifts, confused, and I realize he doesn't even know what's happened. This is it, my life, unraveling right here by the fireplace, and I don't know if I want to shout or walk away. All I know is I'm done waiting for answers she won't give. It's been 2 hours since Owen showed up at our door, turning my confrontation with Sara into a mess I didn't see coming. It all led to last night, when she admitted she'd been meeting him, then tried to call it a mistake. Owen's clueless grin at the door just sealed it. I'm done being the one left in the dark. After he showed up, I didn't say much. Sara stammered, Owen backed off, mumbling something about wrong timing, and I just shut the door in his face. She tried to talk, tears, excuses, the works, but I walked out to the porch, needed air. I stood there, staring at the trees, the key heavy in my pocket, until she gave up and went upstairs. That was last night. Today, I've been thinking. Not about fixing this, there's no fixing it, but about what comes next. I'm not the yelling type, never have been. I don't lash out. I plan. I watch. And I've got a way to hit back that's all mine. Sara's still asleep, or pretending to be, when I leave the cabin this morning. I've got my ranger gear on, truck keys in hand, but I'm not heading to the trails yet. I drive to the reserve's main office instead, a squat building by the entrance where we log tours and permits. Sara's volunteering gig runs through here. She's been helping with the guided hikes, meeting people like Owen. It's her escape, her fun, as she put it in those messages. I've got access to the system, part of my job, and I know how to use it. She's not the only one who can play smart. I sit at the desk, pull up the volunteer roster on the computer. There's her name, Sara Hayes, listed for 3 tours this week, including one tomorrow. I scroll through the notes, nothing unusual, just times and group sizes. But then I see it, Owen Pratt, co-leader on her last 2 hikes. That's how it started, I bet, out there, away from me. I lean back, thinking. I could just report her, say she's unreliable, get her dropped. But that's too small. I want her to feel this, the way I did when I read "Can't Wait" on her screen. I open the email client instead, the one tied to the reserve staff account. I draft a message to the volunteer coordinator, a woman named Janet who doesn't mess around. Hey Janet, I type, keeping it casual. Caught wind of some off-schedule meetups at Gate 3. Looks like Sara Hayes and Owen Pratt have been using tour time for personal stuff, check the logs if you need to. Might want to rethink their spots. I don't sign it, just send it from the generic staff address. It's not a lie, I've got the note, the messages, the proof if it comes to that. But I don't need to show it yet. Let them dig. I hit send, lean back, and feel a flicker of something, satisfaction, maybe. Sara loves that gig. It's her outlet, her little world outside this cabin. Losing it won't ruin her, but but it'll sting. She'll know it's me, I'm the only one who'd tie it to gate 3.
And Owen?
He'll get caught in it too. Janet's strict about rules, she'll pull them both, maybe ban him from the reserve altogether.
2 birds, 1 stone.
I'm not smiling, but it feels right, like balancing a ledger.
I head out to my truck, drive to the west side of the reserve, gate 3. It's quiet, just the wind through the pines and the crunch of gravel under my boots.
I pull the key from my pocket, stare at it.
Does it fit something here?
I try the gate's lock, no dice. There's a storage shed nearby, but the key's too big for its padlock.
Whatever it opens, it's not here. Maybe it's not even the point.
Maybe it was just a signal, a shove to wake me up. I tuck it back in my pocket, head to my rounds. The day's normal, checking trails, marking signs, but my mind's on her.
By late afternoon, I'm back at the cabin.
Sarah's up, sitting on the couch with her phone, looking tense.
"Hey," she says, barely glancing at me. "You hear anything from Janet?" I pause, keep my face blank. "No," I say.
"Why?"
She shifts, uneasy. "She emailed me.
Said there's some issue with the tours, asked me to step back for a bit."
Owen too. I don't get it. Her voice is tight, like she's fishing.
I shrug, grab a glass of water.
"Weird," I say, and that's it.
She stares at me, but I don't flinch.
She knows.
Or she suspects. I can see it in her eyes, panic, then a flash of anger. "Lucas, did you?" she starts, but I cut her off.
"Did I what?"
I say, calm as stone. She doesn't finish, just looks away, gripping her phone. She's lost her gig, her escape, and she's got no one to blame but herself.
Owen's out too, stuck with whatever mess Janet makes for him.
I don't feel good, exactly, just even.
She begged me to understand last night, said it was over. This is my answer. I'm not here to beg. I'm here to move. Today, though, it's different. The anger's cooled, sunk into something heavier, sadness, maybe, or just exhaustion.
I keep seeing her face from last night, when she asked about Janet's email, knowing I'd done something. She didn't fight back, just went quiet, and that hit harder than any argument. I've been thinking about us 7 years, the cabin, the way she'd hum while cooking. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Now it's gone, and I'm starting to see I can't hold on to what's already left. That key, whoever sent it, was right.
She's been gone a while, I just didn't notice. I asked her to meet me here, at the Overlook. Texted her an hour ago, Trail 5, 6 p.m. We need to talk.
She didn't reply, but I know she'll come. She's been hovering around the cabin all day, tense, waiting for me to say something. I've got my truck parked nearby, the key still in my jacket pocket. I don't know what it opens, tried it on every lock I could think of at gate 3, the shed, even the cabin.
Nothing fits. Maybe it's not supposed to.
Maybe it's just a symbol, a nudge from someone who saw this before I did.
I'll figure it out later. Right now, it's about her. I hear footsteps on the gravel behind me.
I turn, and there's Sara, her coat pulled tight against the wind, hair messy like she didn't bother with it. She looks worn, eyes red, shoulders slumped.
"Hey," she says, stopping a few feet away. Her voice is small, like she's testing the air. "You wanted to talk?"
I nod, lean against the wooden rail, look out at the valley.
"Yeah," I say. "Figured we should finish this." She shifts, uneasy, and I can tell she's bracing herself.
"I'm sorry," she starts, fast, like she's rehearsed it.
"I know I messed up, Lucas. With Owen, with everything. I didn't mean for it to."
"Stop," I say, not harsh, just firm.
"I don't need sorry. I needed the truth, and you didn't give it." She flinches, looks down at her boots. I take a breath, keep going. "I saw the messages. I heard your excuses. You picked him, Sara. Over me. Over us. And I'm not here to fix that." My voice stays steady, but there's an ache in it I can't hide. She nods, slow, like she's been waiting for this. It wasn't about you, she says, quieter now. I got lost. The cabin, the routine, it felt small. Owen was there, and I didn't think. I swear it's done. Her eyes meet mine, pleading, but I don't bite. Done or not, I say, you broke it. I can't look at you the same. That lands hard. She steps back, hugs herself tighter. I feel it too, the weight of saying it out loud. I loved her, still do in some corner of me, but it's not enough anymore. Lucas, we can, she tries, but I shake my head. No, I say. We can't. I'm moving out. Signed a lease today for the ranger outpost up north. 2 hours from here. I'm done, Sara. Her mouth opens, then closes, and that's the twist. She didn't see it coming. I didn't tell her I'd been planning it, calling the station this morning, setting it up. Her eyes widen, and she stammers, "You're leaving?" Just like that? Not just like that, I say, calm. After all of this, I need a reset. You can have the cabin. She stares at me, tears spilling now, but I don't move. I'm past the shock, past the anger, settling into something new, acceptance, maybe. I didn't want this, she whispers. I know, I say, and I mean it. But it's here. The sun's dipping lower, shadows stretching across the trail. I turn to go, leave her standing there. Take care, Sara, I say over my shoulder, and I walk back to the truck. The keys still in my pocket, a quiet wait. I don't know what's next, but I know I'm ready for it. Sara's back at the old cabin, I guess, living her life. Mine's starting over, and I'm still figuring out what that means. I'm sitting on the porch with a mug of coffee, the key on the table in front of me. I never found what it opens, tried every lock I could think of, from gates to sheds, even asked around the reserve. No one knows. It's just a rusty old thing, but it changed everything. Whoever left it saw what I didn't, that Sara, my wife of 7 years, was drifting away. The note in her coat, the messages with Owen, her excuses by the fireplace, it all piled up until I couldn't ignore it. I confronted her, got her, and Owen pulled from the volunteer gig, and walked away. That's where it ended. Or started, depending on how you look at it. Looking back, I've learned a lot, more than I wanted to. I thought trust was enough, that if I kept things steady, we'd be fine. Sara was the spark, the one who filled the cabin with her sketches and her restless energy. I didn't see how trapped she felt, how she'd turned to Owen for something I couldn't give. That's on me, in a way. I got too comfortable watching trees instead of her. But she chose to lie, to meet him at gate 3, to let me find out from a stranger's key instead of her own words. That's on her. The wild teaches you what people can't. Sometimes you've got to let go of what's already left. The outpost is quiet, just me and the trails up here. I moved in 3 days ago, hauled my gear in the truck after signing the lease. It's smaller than the old cabin, no room for two, really, but it suits me. I've been working the northern routes, mapping new paths, checking markers. The rangers here are a good crew, older guys mostly, no drama. I keep to myself, but that's always been my way. The first night, I sat out here, staring at the stars, and felt something settle. Not peace, not yet, but a start. I don't miss the old place as much as I thought, just the idea of it, maybe. Sara called once, the day after the overlook. Left a voicemail I didn't answer. "Lucas, I'm sorry. I hope you're okay." I didn't call back. What's there to say? She's lost her volunteer spot, her little world with Owen's crumbled, and I'm gone. I don't know if he's still around, don't care, honestly. My revenge wasn't loud, just a tip to Janet that shut their game down. It was enough. She'll figure her way out, or she won't. I've got my own road now. I'm different, though. Harder, maybe, not bitter, but guarded. I used to think I could read anything it tracks, weather, people. Turns out I missed the biggest signs right in front of me. That's a lesson I won't forget. I'm still patient, still the guy who'd rather listen than talk, but there's a line now. I won't let anyone that close again unless they earn it.
The reserve up here's bigger, wilder, more to keep me busy. I've got a project coming up, rerouting a trail that's been washed out. It's good work, the kind that keeps your hands moving and your mind clear. The key's still a mystery. I'll keep it, though not as a weight, but a marker. It woke me up, shoved me out of a life I didn't see breaking. Whoever left it, some hiker, a friend, a stranger, they did me a favor. I sip my coffee, watch the light creep over the ridge. The air's crisp, the kind that fills your lungs and reminds you you're here. I don't know what's next, not really, just more trails, more days like this. But that's fine. I've learned the hard way that you don't need all the answers, just enough to keep going. I stand up, grab the key, tuck it in my pocket. Time to head out, check the routes. The outpost door clicks shut behind me, and I start down the path. The wild's got its own rules, steady, honest, no games. That's where I fit now. Sara's gone, the old life's gone, and I'm not looking back. The key rattles faintly as I walk, a quiet echo of where I've been. Up ahead, the trail stretches out, and I keep moving. That's the trick, keep moving. The rest sorts itself out.